News at 10 starts right now.
We begin tonight with the latest on the Arizona Supreme Court's ruling on abortion in our state. That ruling allows an 1864 ban on all elective abortions to take effect once again. Thanks everyone for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. The pre-statehood law makes it a crime to perform abortions unless the woman's life is at stake. And tonight, political experts are weighing in about the implications today's decision could have on our state. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono is live outside the state capitol with more on how today's ruling could impact the November election. Bianca?
Yeah, guys, experts tell me today's decision likely means that voter turnout for November's election, which was already expected to be high, will likely be much higher. Minutes after Arizona's Supreme Court ruled to uphold the Civil War-era abortion ban, November's election was top of mind.
This is going to have a deep and lasting impact on politics in Arizona.
And Stan Barnes, president of Copper State Consulting Group, says it's Republican candidates who could pay the price.
If you are interested in Republican success at the ballot, this is a bad day.
Barnes describes Arizona's Republican Party as fractured. And while Democrats are united when it comes to their stance on abortion, the GOP is not.
We've had the Trump wing versus the McCain wing. Now we have the pro-life wing versus the more pragmatic pro-choice wing. And if it was complicated for Republicans in terms of running for office in this environment, it's now even more complicated.
And the issue of abortion drives voter turnout.
There are no doubt voters all over Arizona who are going to hear this story and say, what? We've gone from legal abortion to illegal abortion in one decision? Which party is going to fix that?
Cheryl Bruce believes she has the fix.
Access to abortion is a majority support issue.
She's the campaign manager for Arizona for Abortion Access, an effort trying to put abortion rights on the November ballot, giving voters the choice between the 1864 near total ban or enshrining abortion rights in the Arizona Constitution. As of last week, they had collected 500,000 signatures, well above the 383,000 required. And Bruce says they were flooded with calls and emails after Tuesday's decision. Evidence voters are motivated.
We're feeling very confident. I don't want to take away from the devastating news today. This is a near total ban, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to vote on this measure until November. But I do think that we are seeing even more of a resolve now from voters in Arizona to pass this measure.
And as for what comes next with that ballot initiative, I'm told they want to collect 800,000 signatures by their July 3rd deadline. Then they'll go through a court process to ensure that measure ends up on the ballot.
And Bianca, I want to focus on what the political consultant said a little bit earlier. What more are you learning about how Republican lawmakers, how they're responding to the Supreme Court's decision today?
Yeah, Caribe, as Barnes alluded to, they are divided on this. Some have come out today and tried to distance themselves from the ruling, saying they believe the 1864 law should be repealed immediately. Others have voiced support for the law, while some are on the fence, saying they want to sit down and take a closer look at the court's ruling. Caribe?
All right, Bianca, thank you so much. And today's ruling comes after the Alliance Defending Freedom petitioned the state Supreme Court to reverse a lower court's ruling on Arizona's abortion law. Earlier today, we heard reaction from the organization as well as a doctor they're representing. Take a listen.
Prevented officials from fully enforcing the state's pro-life law to protect unborn children. Thankfully, today's ruling overturns that decision and recognizes that life is a human right. It allows Arizona to respect that right and fully protect life again, just as the legislature intended.
I have the honor of serving these women and families, bringing these children into the world. Every one of them deserves real support and real health care.
Okay, so we also caught up with a doctor who disagreed with the ruling, who told us that she's concerned about the ripple effects of the 1864 law and how that could have an effect on women here in Arizona.
It's dangerous, is what it is. These are laws that that have a very adverse effect on women's health care, that women will still seek reproductive care and will either do it in an unsafe way or have to travel out of state and get their care delayed. And that studies have shown that women who get denied an abortion have higher rates of poverty. There's higher rates of, there's effects on the children that they already have. There's women that are forced to stay in domestic violence relationships. These are bad laws all the way around.
Well, of course, this is an issue we'll continue to follow here on 12 News, both on air and online. And as always, stay with 12news.com and the 12 News app for the latest updates. Tonight, we've learned that an 87-year-old woman is dead after being hit by a car in a Costco parking lot earlier today. Surprise police identified the woman as Carolyn Escajeda. Officers say the driver who hit her stayed on the scene. That driver was released after police reviewed footage of the crash and is not facing any charges. Investigators had a large portion of the Costco parking lot closed off for most of the afternoon. Also new at 10, a Valley woman is warning others of a scam that drained almost $20,000 from her savings account. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra joins us in studio. And Gabby, sadly, these scams are getting trickier and trickier.
That's right, Mark. Experts say scams are constantly evolving to find new, vulnerable ways to steal money from people. This Valley woman was well aware of that, but she warns your intuition changes when thousands of dollars are on the line.
The red flags of common scams are everywhere.
You hear it all the time.
But it was the green flags.
It was convincing, I gotta say.
That tricked Joanne Salcido into sending nearly $20,000 to a scammer.
Well, it's pretty cutting into our retirement. My husband's ready to choke me, but it is what it is.
Salcido fell victim to an imposter scam. A scammer pretending to be Wells Fargo sent her a fraud alert text message asking if she spent $266 on a plane ticket. When she responded no, she says the scammer called her on a spoofed Wells Fargo phone number.
It just seemed real smooth and arithmetic, I guess.
The scammer made it clear the only way to protect her money was to wire it out of her savings account. An obvious red flag, and Salcido thought so too.
I'm going, what's happening? And, why, again, would I do this? Well, this is just the way we're doing it now.
But Salcido says the cunning scammer had clever responses to all of her concerns.
I'm going, okay, well, I guess that's legit.
So they were convincing.
Yes, very.
Plus the green flags. She says they didn't ask for any personal information and didn't pressure her to act fast.
The way they walked me through it and told me exactly how you would do it, I'm thinking they're already in my account, of course, until I hung up the phone and thinking, no, they weren't in it. They were just showing me how to do it on my end.
Salcido says she filed claims with Wells Fargo and made a police report to try and get her money back.
Kind of got the feeling that it was a ho-hum, gee, we're sorry, tough luck.
But now she's warning others to be vigilant. Listen to your gut about the red flags and be skeptical of the green flags too.
There were so many red flags after the fact that I should have realized it was wrong.
And the Federal Trade Commission says to never transfer your money to protect it. We'll have more advice from the FTC on what to be aware of when it comes to these imposter scams. That's on our website, 12news.com. Back to you.
Oh, Gabby, I feel so bad for these people that fall victim to these scammers. All right, let's check in with Ginger Jeffries for a first look at your forecast.
All right, we've hit the jackpot with our forecast because temperatures are climbing, but I'm not talking about record range. So it's just beautiful spring weather. Highs today, 1 degree above the normal range as advertised. But look at the records are 102 and no. We're not looking for triple digits this week, but allergy sufferers, red alert for you. We've got a high allergy risk look ahead, not just for Thursday, but all the way through Sunday. Main triggers are going to be grass and tree pollens. And again, this is coupled with all the blooms that we got going on outside, but also all the wind that we've got in the forecast by Friday. For tomorrow, temperatures continue to up the ante. We're getting up to about 87 degrees, dominant clear skies under high pressure, and this trend will continue. So if you want to see how your day breaks down, we're still getting a nice amount of cooling before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We should be peaking in the 4 o'clock hour and then coming down. But as numbers continue to climb, how toasty will it get? Find out in a couple minutes. Back to you.
All right. I have a feeling it's the 90s. All right, Ginger, thank you. Now to developing news in Scottsdale after 12 News learned that 4 Scottsdale police officers were hurt at a shooting range last week. Police tell us that it happened at the Salt River Police Firearms Range on April 3rd. After doing training drills, the officers unloaded their weapons to prepare them for cleaning. That's when a pistol was accidentally fired into the ground. The officers were hit by bullet fragments, and they were all taken to the hospital with minor injuries. They have all since recovered.